Hi there, welcome back to BEC Preliminary Course. How have you been? Now, in the last class, we talked about career ladder, various traditional ways of training, and a new way of training which compares the world of football with the world of business. Now, in today's class, we're going to continue talking about career development. And we're going to break today's class into two. First of all, we're going to discuss job satisfaction. And then we're going to talk about the phenomenon of migrant workers. Okay then, let's get today's class started. Now, first of all, let me ask you this question. What do you like about your current job or position? Is there anything that you don't like about your job? What would you like to change? Okay, guys, let's think about this. Great job. Well, for me, I'm quite satisfied with my current job. I work regular hours, and the work itself is very stimulating and fulfilling. And most important of all, I can always feel that my skills and work are recognized and valued. But what I don't like about my current job is that the work atmosphere could be dire sometimes. And I wish that every one of us could just try to relax for a bit and communicate with each other more. Now, a lot of factors could affect our job satisfaction. And as we've discussed in the previous units, these factors could be categorized into two groups, hygiene factors and motivator factors. Now, the first group, hygiene factors, 直译呢是叫做保健因素。那么这些因素它本身是不足以起到提高员工工作满足感的作用。但是呢，如果这些保健因素没有得到保障，或者做得不够到位的话，那么就会引起员工的不满。And the hygiene factors may include supervision, say the way you are managed. So in the previous units, we talked about the top-down approach and bottom-up approach. 自上而下的管理方式和自下而上的管理方式。Now the first one, 自上而下 top-down approach. 自上而下的管理理念认为下属天性懒惰，因此呢需要上层的不断监督。同时，在做决策的过程中，只要领导做好了决策，推行下去，让下属执行就可以了。员工呢是不需要参与决策的过程。So this is the top-down approach, and this is one way that you are managed. Now the second one is 自下而上的管理方式 ，the bottom-up approach. 自下而上的管理方式呢，会更加的人性化一些。这种管理理念认为，员工呢是可以为自己的行为负责的。管理者更多的呢是让员工自己决定自己的职业发展方向，同时呢给员工提供必要的资源上的支持。而在决策的过程当中，员工的意见也是会被充分考虑进去的。So this is the bottom-up approach, and this is another way that you can be managed. Now, the second hygiene factor is policy. Say, the overall purpose and goals of the company. Well, you can ask yourself these two questions. Does your company have a clear goal? And is your leader visionary? Now, the third hygiene factor is called working conditions. And these may include the place where you work, and also the hours worked, etc. Now, the next factor is called salary. You can also ask yourself these two questions. Is your salary competitive in your line of work? And are you getting what's the going rate in the market? Now, the next hygiene factor is called peer relationships. And it means how you relate to and work with others at the same level in the organization. Or how are you getting along with your work colleagues? Now, the last hygiene factor is called security. It means the level of confidence about the future of your job. So you may ask yourself, can my current company provide me with a long-term career? Now, these are the hygiene factors, 保健因素, and they can affect our job satisfaction if they are not right. Now, the second group of factors is called Motivator Factors, 动机因素, and these aspects of work can give positive satisfaction. Now, they may include, first, achievement. Say, the feeling that you have been successful in reaching your goals. So you may ask yourself, do you have the feeling that you have been successful in reaching your goals? Now, the second motivator factor is called recognition. It means the feeling that your employers understand and value what you do by giving positive feedback. So guys, you may ask yourself, are your work and skills valued and recognized by your employer? Now, the next motivative factor is called the work itself. Say, the nature and interest of the job. Are you interested in the work itself? And do you find the nature of your work stimulating and challenging? Now, the next motivative factor is called responsibility. Are you in charge of anything? And do you work independently? Or do you have to have your boss approval every time when you want to make a move? Now, the next factor is called advancement. It means how far you will be promoted in the organization and how far you will go up the career ladder. So guys, you may ask yourself, are you stuck in a rut and stagnating? Or you can see yourself develop personally in your work and you have the opportunities to go up the career ladder. Okay, so much for the motivator factors and hygiene factors. Now here guys, let's do this. Talk about your own organization or one you'd like to work for in relation to the hygiene factors and motivator factors we have talked about just now. Okay, let's do this. Very good job and welcome back. So just now we've been talking about the hygiene factors and motivator factors that could affect our job satisfaction. And remember, we can always evaluate our current job from the perspectives of these factors. And frankly, this is exactly what the interviewees in the following listening part are doing. Now here, let's listen to an interviewer asking 5 people about job satisfaction. What do the people talk about? And please write the interview number next to the topic. Okay, guys, are you ready? Here we go.
1.
Excuse me, I'm asking people about their jobs. Would you change anything if you could?
Oh, yes. I'd like to work from home. I could quite easily do my job from home without going to the office. I would save time and money if I didn't go to the office every day. And I could keep in touch with the office by email or by phone. Of course, I'd have to go to the office occasionally, maybe once a week or once a fortnight, but that wouldn't be so bad.
2.
Hello, I'm interviewing people about job satisfaction. Are you happy in your job?
Yes, I am, most of the time.
If you could change one aspect of your job, what would it be?
I suppose I'd like to change the hours that I work. I'd prefer to work flexi-time. The office hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But at these times, the traffic is terrible. It takes me over an hour to get to work in the morning. If I could, I'd come to work earlier, around 7:30, and leave earlier, around 3:30 maybe. I would have more time with my children if I left work earlier.
3.
Hello, I'm interviewing people about job satisfaction. If you could change one thing in your job, what would it be?
Only one thing?
Well, I'm quite happy with everything, except for the holidays. In my company, everyone has to take their holidays in July or August. But this is when the schools close for the summer holidays, so all the families go away in these months, and everything is more expensive. If I could go on holiday in June or September, I would pay less for my hotel room. That would be great. And, of course, the beaches wouldn't be so full of noisy children.
4.
Hello. I'm asking people about their jobs. Would you change anything in your job?
I suppose there are some things I would change, if I could. For example, I'd like to have more responsibility, you know, and work more independently. At the moment, my boss doesn't let me do anything without his approval. I basically follow his orders all the time. But I'd like to have the opportunity to use my experience and to show him what I can do.
Thank you.
5.
Excuse me, I'm asking people about their jobs. Are you happy with your job?
I haven't got a job. I'm unemployed.
Okay, now let's check your answers. So apparently, in this on-the-street interview, the 5 interviewees have been talking about the issues of working from home, flexible hours, holidays, responsibility at work, and unemployment. But what exactly do the 5 interviewees think about these 5 issues? Now here, let's take a further look. So here, let's listen to the interviews 1 to 4 again, and for each person, complete the notes using 1 or 2 words. Now, the first person. Ready? Here we go.
1.
Excuse me, I'm asking people about their jobs. Would you change anything if you could?
Oh, yes. I'd like to work from home. I could quite easily do my job from home without going to the office. I would save time and money if I didn't go to the office every day. And I could keep in touch with the office by email or by phone. Of course, I'd have to go to the office occasionally, maybe once a week or once a fortnight, but that wouldn't be so bad.
Great. Now let's check your answers. So the first person wants to try working from home for a change to save time and money. Now here, let's take a look at the script for this part. So the female speaker said, "Oh yes, I would like to work from home. I could quite easily do my job from home without going to the office. And the benefit of working from home is that I could save time and money. But of course, working from home doesn't mean that I stay at home totally. So guys, let me ask you this question. Is working from home acceptable in your organization?" Well, to be honest, in my company, working from home is very acceptable. Since I'm working in an internet company, and as long as I have access to the internet, then it doesn't make much difference whether I work from home or I work in the office. 好，乍一看哈，在家办公呢，确实是一个不错的选择。你可以省去上下班坐公交、挤地铁的时间，你可以有个相对舒适的工作环境。但是我个人呢，还是对这种工作方式持相对保守的态度。因为我认为，如果你长久在家办公的话，那么你会渐渐的脱离你这个工作的圈子，你也会渐渐的退到你领导的雷达之外。我觉得像这些呢，都不利于你的职业发展。但是话说回来，这也取决于公司以及你个人的一些工作习惯。如果你的公司对在家办公这种工作方式是持开放和包容的态度，而且呢，你个人的一些工作习惯和职业素养也能够保证，即使是在家办公，也能够保质保量的完成工作的话，那么这也是一个不错的选择。但是不管怎么样哈，偶尔的出现在办公室，跟大家打打照面 ，do some catch up 还是很有必要的。So of course, there are some pros and cons of working from home. So guys, what do you think? Do you prefer working from home or commuting to office? Great job, and so much for the first person. Now here, let's listen to what the second person has to say and complete the notes. Ready? Here we go.
2.
Hello, I'm interviewing people about job satisfaction. Are you happy in your job?
Yes, I am, most of the time.
If you could change one aspect of your job, what would it be?
I suppose I'd like to change the hours that I work. I'd prefer to work flexi-time. The office hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But at these times, the traffic is terrible. It takes me over an hour to get to work in the morning. If I could, I'd come to work earlier, around 7:30, and leave earlier, around 3:30 maybe. I would have more time with my children if I left work earlier.
Great job. And now let's check your answers. So the second person would like to try working flexi-time to have more time with the children. Now here, let's take a look at the script for this part. And here he says, I suppose I'd like to change the hours that I work. I'd prefer to work flexi-time. The office hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So apparently, he works 9 to 5. So it's true that he works regular hours, say from 9 to 5, but 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. are during the rush hours. And during these rush hours, the traffic is really heavy. 好，相信这一点哈，我们屏幕前的很多同学都感同身受哈。高峰期的人流量确实是很可怕哈。And it's very likely that you will have to spend 2 to 4 hours commuting from home and office every day. And it's the same with the second speaker. So he said, it takes me over an hour to get to work in the morning, so if I could, I'd come to work earlier, around 7:30, and leave earlier, around 5:30, maybe. 那么这样的话呢，他就可以 avoid the traffic, avoid the rush hours. And meanwhile, he would have more time with his children in this way. 好，在北上广这样一些大城市哈，很多上班族每天上下班呢，就需要花费3到4个小时，甚至是更长。那这种现象呢，已经是很普遍了。我记得我刚到上海的时候呢，也是住的离公司比较的远哈。那么每天早上呢，我是5点半起床，然后再倒公交、倒地铁的，历经2个多小时到达公司，然后下午下班之后呢，再倒地铁、倒公交的，花费2个多小时到家。好，那段时间呢，确实是很辛苦，也感受到了在上海这样的地方上班的不容易哈。好，那其实呢，我们这种倒公交、倒地铁上下班的这种方式呢，我们是叫做 commute。So here, commute means to travel some distance regularly between one's home and one's place of work. For example, I work from home 2 to 3 days a week, and the other time I'll have to commute to office. And also, commute can be used as a noun, which means an act of commuting. Say, for example, the 4-hour-a-day commute is costing me 20 RMB a day. And here also we have the word commuter. It means a person who travels to work over an appreciable distance. For example, I'm a commuter student in my sophomore year, and I hate it. I would love to live on campus, but I really can't afford to. So here, commuter student means 通勤学生，或者说走读生。Okay, so much for this part. Now here, let's listen to what the third speaker has to say and fill in the blanks. Here we go.
3.
Hello, I'm interviewing people about job satisfaction. If you could change one thing in your job, what would it be?
Only one thing? Well, I'm quite happy with everything, except for the holidays. In my company, everyone has to take their holidays in July or August. But this is when the schools close for the summer holidays, so all the families go away in these months, and everything is more expensive. If I could go on holiday in June or September, I would pay less for my hotel room. That would be great. And, of course, the beaches wouldn't be so full of noisy children.
Okay, great job. Now here, let's check your answers. Great, now let's take a look at the script for this part. So apparently, the third speaker is very satisfied with her current job. She says, well, I'm quite happy with everything except for the holidays. In my company, everyone has to take their holidays in July or August. 他们公司的休假时间呢是集中在7月或者说8月份。那这个时候啊，正好是碰上学校放暑假，所以啊，如果你要出去玩的话，那么这些旅游景点呢肯定是会非常的拥挤的。那么物价呢也会水涨船高。这个 speaker 所说到的7月份和8月份的休假呢，很有可能就是他们公司的年假 ，annual leave。好，一般来说哈，作为一种福利呢，每个公司都会给他的员工几天到10几天，甚至几十天不等的这样一种年假。而且呢，我们中国的公司很少会规定员工你必须在哪个月份才能休年假，所以我们一般是可以选择错峰出行。Okay, so much for this part. Now here, let's listen to the fourth part of the interview and complete the notes. Ready? Here we go.
4.
Hello. I'm asking people about their jobs. Would you change anything in your job?
I suppose there are some things I would change, if I could. For example, I'd like to have more responsibility, you know, and work more independently. At the moment, my boss doesn't let me do anything without his approval. I basically follow his orders all the time. But I'd like to have the opportunity to use my experience and to show him what I can do.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's check your answers. Okay, then let's take a look at the script for this part. So obviously, the fourth speaker wants to work more independently and have more responsibility. But now his boss doesn't let him do anything without his approval, and the fourth speaker couldn't feel motivated. 好，那么这个问题呢，应该是他的 boss 管理上的一个失误哈。在管理的过程当中，我们要注意给我们的下属放权，给下属配备跟他能力对等的权利、职责和奖励。那么这样的员工的工作动机会更强，那么工作的成就感也会更强。Okay, so much for this part, and so much for the interview. Now, during the interview, the speakers are talking about their job satisfaction and the changes that they'd like to make to their job. And when we talk about change, we often use the second conditional sentence. 第二条件句，或者说虚拟语气哈。Now here, let's read the sentences and underline the if clauses, then answer the questions below. Okay, let's do this. Great. Now here, let's check your answers. So all these three sentences are from the interview. Now the first question, which form of the verb is used in the if clauses? Apparently is the past tense, right? 在这三个例句当中呢 if 所引导的这个从句后面的时态呢用的都是一般过去时。Now the second one, do the sentences refer to events in the past or to imaginary or unlikely situations? They refer to imaginary or unlikely situations. 好，描述的呢是一种假设的状态，一种想象中的状态哈，所以叫做虚拟语气。Now, does the second conditional sentence always begin with if? Well, not exactly. 第二条件句或者说虚拟语气，它的从句呢，很多时候是用 if 来连接的，但是呢，我们也有很多特例。Now, the last one, which sentences have a comma? Now, the second and the third sentences have a comma, right? Okay, so much for the second conditional sentences. Now here, let's do some exercises. Please match the beginnings of the sentences 1 to 6 with the endings A to F to make complete sentences. Okay, let's do this. Great job. Now here, let's check your answers. Great. So after checking your answers, I'd like you to think about this question. Which of the sentences above are true for you? 一起来做个小练习吧。Great job and welcome back. So just now we've been talking about job satisfaction and some changes that some people like to make to their jobs. Now a lot of times we don't just make job changes from job to job or from company to company. We would also make job changes from place to place. Say from a city to another city or from a country to another country. And this is how migrant workers come into being. And in China, we call the workers who migrated from the south of China to the north of China, say to big cities like Beijing and Shanghai, drifters. We call them drifters, 北漂一族. And many of the drifters also belong to the Ant tribe, the group of people who have to live in cramped rooms. Now, I myself is also a drifter, and I also belong to the Ant tribe. Now, guys, let me ask you this question. Would you like to work in a different place? Why or why not? And here below, I have provided you with some ideas. You can use these ideas or your own. Okay, let's do this. Great job. Now I'm sure all of us have our own reasons to choose to be a migrant worker, a drifter, or not to. And here below, we're going to read an article about migrant workers. And I'm sure you can find yourself related to it. Now here, let's read the article from a recruitment agency's website and choose the best title. Okay guys, let's do this. Okay, great job. So after reading the article, we can decide that the best title for this article would be A. Businesses prefer migrant workers. But why? Why would businesses prefer migrant workers? Now here, let's take a look at this article in detail. First of all, let's read the first part of the article again and choose the best answers. Ready? Here we go. Okay, great job. Now here, let's check your answers. Now, the first sentence, the survey asked companies if they would employ migrant workers. Okay, so this is apparently wrong, because this is not what the survey is about. Now, let's take a look at the script. A recent survey of UK businesses asked the question, what reasons do you have for employing migrant workers? So the survey is about why you would employ migrant workers, but not if you would employ migrant workers. Now, the second sentence, most employers think that migrant workers are better than British workers. So this is apparently wrong, because here in this article it says about 20% of employers think that migrant workers are more productive and have a more positive attitude to work than British workers. So according to the survey, only 20% of employers think this way. So 20% is not the majority. So this sentence is wrong. Now the last sentence, about 20% of companies employ migrant workers. So this one, yes, doesn't say. But the first paragraph did mention many percentages. Say, in addition, 25% of businesses can't find British workers with the necessary skills, and almost 20% can't find people with the right experience. But none of the sentences mention anything about the percentage of companies that would employ migrant workers. Now here, let's take a look at the last sentence. One hotel manager said, if I had to choose between a local person and an EU migrant, I would always choose the migrant worker. In my experience, they work harder and have better skills. 好，这个呢虽然是一个英国酒店经理的心声哈，但是我觉得它同样可以代表我们中国很多大城市的用人单位的心声哈。当然，也有很多用人单位不是这么想的哈，他们是更倾向于去招一些本地人，因为本地人相对来说更稳定。Okay, so much for the first part. Now here, let's read the second part of the article again and choose the best answers. Ready? Here we go. Great job. Now here, let's check your answers. The first one, the tourism industry is the most popular destination for Polish and Czech workers. So this one, yeah, doesn't say. Now here, the second part did mention several industries that will be popular for migrant workers, right? Here it says, the UK is a popular destination for skilled workers and the graduates from countries like Poland and the Czech Republic. Many work in agriculture or the tourism industry, or in small businesses in the financial services and technology sectors. But it didn't say anything about the most popular industry for the migrant workers. So guys, let me ask you this. In your place of working, which industry is most popular for migrant workers? Great. Now here, let's take a look at the second sentence. Arthur could not find a job in IT in Poland. So this one, doesn't say. So here it says, I work for an IT company and I would never get this level of experience at home. So probably Arthur came to the UK from Poland to gain more experience that he could not get at home. And the last sentence, Jacob found a job when he arrived in New York. And this one is yes. Alright then, seems like Jacob's experience is much better than Arthur's, in a way that Jacob was able to find a job quickly, whereas Arthur could only work as a painter at first. Okay, now let's take a look at the last paragraph and choose the best answer. Here we go. Great job. Now here, let's check your answers. Okay, so this sentence is apparently right. Now let's take a look at the last sentence. We decided to hire graduates from outside Britain because it was difficult to find good UK people. 好，这样看来，对于一些想到英国去发展的欧洲的毕业生来说，那么这个消息应该说是一个很好的消息。好，只要你的工作技能不错，只要你不怕吃苦 ，well, welcome. Okay, now so much for this article. So here, guys, let me ask you these questions. Are you or is there anyone around you who are a migrant worker? And what do you think about the life as a migrant worker? Okay, try to think about it and talk about it. 一起来做个小练习吧。Great job and welcome back. Let's take a quick review of what we've covered in today's class. So in today's class, we continued talking about career development. In the first part of today's class, we talked about the hygiene factors and motivator factors that could affect our job satisfaction. And then we'll listen to an interview about job satisfaction. And lastly, we talked about the issue of migrant workers. Okay, guys, that's all for today. Thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next unit.